Reedy, how's it going?
Hey, Hend, I'm great. I just got out of class. I'm starving. I could get a snack down the street. You want to sit?
Yeah, sure. I bought something too and didn't have time to eat it. My stomach has been growing the whole time.
Oh, perfect. We can sit and eat our snacks together.
Yeah, let's go. So, what did you bring to eat?
Actually, I just got something from down the street. It didn't really look there wasn't really anything appetizing there, though.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I ended up grabbing this granola bar. It didn't really looks okay. I don't really know.
I'm sorry I couldn't find what you're exactly looking for.
It's okay. What'd you end up bringing?
I got this fruit I don't even know the name of. I'm just hoping it tastes like fruit I take back at home.
I find it so frustrating that neither of us can find exactly what we're looking for here in Barcelona.
Yeah, the food here sucks. It's all just paella, tapas, and jamón.
And in the grocery stores, all the options are either like terrible, unappetizing, or difficult to understand, even if they do what have what we want to have.
I agree. This is totally something we should talk about more.
I agree. While studying abroad, I think it's really easy to feel food insecure solely based off the language barrier, but also the lack of similar ingredients and dishes to our home countries like the United States and Egypt.
I totally agree. I feel as though I'm isolated from my needs and I'm unable to meet them on a daily basis.
Right? I also have a very strict dietary restrictions, so it's very difficult for me to find foods.
What do you mean?
Like today with this granola bar, I was trying to find something dairy-free, gluten-free, but there were very limited options, and the grocery store had very kind of difficult signs to read for these options too.
Oh, are there usually more options in the United States?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of great options and like some specialized stores or restaurants that target the needs of these people who have these similar dietary restrictions.
Wow, that's so hard. I have an allergy to peanuts actually, so I can totally relate. I've also had difficulty in the grocery stores here.
What happened?
The other day I was trying to cook pasta. All I wanted to find was tomato paste, but I couldn't. I even tried to ask the manager in Spanish on es la pasta de tomate, and he looked at me as if I was crazy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I always do the exact same thing, but I always say "Parles inglés" or "Estic buscando alguna cosa similar a eso" and show them like a picture on my phone. It still doesn't work. I mean, maybe we can find a solution to this.
Exactly. I'm sure they even had tomato paste, but it was just so difficult to find it just based on the cultural differences. I don't mean to be ethnocentric at all.
Me either.
And I'm truly curious about learning about the culture of Barcelona and Catalonia.
Same.
However, it's really hard to immerse myself into this new life without having anything from the comfort of my home or the ease of knowing exactly where everything is.
I completely agree. Also, like, I don't know about you, but my part of my identity is being a foodie, and so I find it really difficult when I can't find foods to, kind of treasure and like really get pleased by the food here. So I'm trying to find something that makes me happy.
You know what? Maybe we're just approaching this in the wrong way.
What do you mean?
Is it possible that we're just too focused on ourselves or maybe a little bit too homesick to even find a compromise that suits our needs?
I wonder if there's a way to better evaluate our options here in the city.
Maybe we're not looking into the right grocery stores, or maybe we're not asking the right people, or it's even possible that we're just resisting this culture to the extent that even our struggles are self-inflicted.
You have a point. I mean, overall, culture is an ongoing negotiation, so I feel like even if we're here in the city, we can find a way to negotiate with ourselves and the city itself to find a food option that works for us and makes us happy.
Do you want to just head inside? Maybe we can talk about this more before class.
Perfect, let's go. So, what do you usually eat at home that you miss so much?
Honestly, one thing I really miss is this potato dish that my mom makes. It requires a certain type of potato and various spices. I haven't been able to find it here, or even any of its ingredients.
Okay, so describe to me what it's like. Maybe we can start there.
It's potatoes cut up thinly and then shaped and covered in various spices and seasonings before baking. And at the end, my mom covers it in cheese and fresh herbs from our garden.
So, patates y especies y herbes.
Oh, do you speak Catalan? Are those the correct words?
I'm taking it this year in school, actually, and I think those are the right words, but maybe not. Regardless, one major step in our solution could probably be to no longer resist or separate ourselves from the identities that we've developed here in Barcelona and instead integrate those identities with those that we've brought from our separate countries, and start that integration by embracing the culture fully and using Catalan as, breaking down that language barrier.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we could also use like a similarities differences dialectic approach with our food.
What do you mean?
So in order to further assimilate ourselves into the Barcelona and Catalonia culture, we should examine how we can be simultaneously both similar and different to the culture here.
What an interesting approach. I guess you're right, because if we overfocus on the differences between the food we love and the food we have in front of us here, we kind of polarize the groups and we further create difficulties for ourselves and those that are trying to help us.
Agreed. Also, if we overfocus on the similarities, if there are any, then we essentialize the foods and overlook the differences and don't recognize them for their great qualities.
Another approach we could actually integrate would maybe be the personal contextual dialectic approach. I think that could maybe help us here with our problem.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's very important for us to recognize some sort of connection between our personal patterns or preferences and how they're affected by the context here.
I get what you mean, but how can we better use that to help serve ourselves with the food insecurity here in Barcelona?
One of the things we need to work on the most is how we communicate our needs to grocery store employees, because not only are we speaking a language that is difficult for them to understand, we are also probably asking for things with different names than what they're used to.
I actually have noticed that. Some of the ingredients like the tomato paste, the sour cream, maybe even the spice blends, the name is different because it's actually a different, it's not the literal transition from English or translation. So I think that's maybe where our issue is stemming from.
Yeah, and while it's very different from what we're used to, there are also a lot of similar things, which is why we need to find that sweet spot between our personal preference while also integrating and adapting to the context that we're in.
I definitely think the same thing. Maybe if we combine both techniques, then we could better help ourselves in dealing with this problem better. Okay, so let's take your mom's dish. Let's start by really validating something that we know. Take your mom's dish, for example. You know the Catalan words for it now, so that could help in the grocery stores.
Yeah, well, you're right, but what if they still don't have anything?
Tens alguna cosa semblant al que estic buscant?
What?
That's what you say if you're trying to find something that's similar to what you're looking for. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of substitutes that are similar to the dish that your mom makes at home.
And what if they still say no?
Well, we can use your technique. So obviously there's gonna be some differences between the Egyptian dish and the dish they make here, but maybe if you can find something that's similar or embrace those differences, then you can find something that suits your needs and makes you feel more food secure.
Yeah, you're so right.
I've actually been eating out a lot recently, and I've heard of this dish. I think it's a Barcelona tapas dish called patatas bravas.
Well, have you had them?
No, but my friends have actually ordered them, and it seems like it's really just a fried potato dish or baked potato dish with a sauce on top or multiple sauces.
Well, I usually prefer my potatoes to be baked with more seasoning and less sauce. However, I think I know this dish too now that you mention it. It seems to be very culturally popular here in Barcelona. If it has similar ingredients, how bad could it be?
Exactly, and I think it's definitely worth a try because you can even ask the restaurant if you go to maybe put less sauce on it or to change it a little bit to kind of suit your needs and be similar to your mom's dish.
That's true. I could definitely do some research. I could even learn how to ask about it in Spanish or Catalan to further immerse myself into the culture and integrate it into my lifestyle.
Like we said, even if it's not exactly like your mom's dish, you can embrace the differences and kind of feel more at home. And maybe I can do this too. It just, to feel more food secure, you need to embrace the differences and kind of see the differences and make sure that you recognize them, but also just you might have to even ignore them at this point and just think of your mom's dish when you're eating the dish.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Do you want to come check out this nearby grocery store with me?
Let's go. So where do we start?
Oh, I think we should check out the spices over there since this is what the dish is all about.
Yeah, let's go. I'll try to use my Catalan that I've learned in class. I'll try to read the directions to get to the spice section. It might be over there.
Wow, that's a lot more complicated than I've imagined. There are 100 types of spices here.
I can try to help you out. What's the name of the spice that you're looking for?
Well, it's a combination of a lot of different spices, and since the dish is popular back in Egypt, the spices are sold in a blend, the mixture spices, and I'm not sure what's exactly inside this blend.
I think that's maybe why you weren't able to find it, because if it's Egyptian spices, maybe it's definitely not going to be able to be found in a mixture here in Spain. So maybe if we find the individual spices, you can make a mixture yourself, and then it can mimic what you have at home.
Yeah, you're right. But it's too difficult for me to find all the spices written here in Spanish. I think I should ask around to find more specialized grocery stores to find my spices and ingredients. I think maybe Nuria could help.
Should we ask? I mean, I think Nuria even might know a good like dairy-free, gluten-free store that I could go to help solve my problems too. Maybe we should go outside and find her?
Nuria!